BT11 Breakdown Part 5. It's time for the black cards. As always, if you enjoy this type of content, do consider liking this video, sharing it, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more future content. Koromon is the newest black Digitama in BT11, providing support for, you guessed it, Greymon Digimon. On your opponent's turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, if this Digimon's name contains Greymon, draw one card. This card is explicitly used in conjunction with Black War Greymon X, when it has the x-antibody, or for that matter if you block and successfully delete your opponent's Digimon and survive. Generally, Black War Greymon X decks tend to be more red-based, as you have a lot of good Greymons to go with it. While black-based is another option, the number of Agumons available for this deck isn't as much, but it is viable and provides you jamming if you don't want to deal with DP buffs. Mon is interesting in that it is one of the first level 3 Digimon that can't be returned to the hand or deck by card effects. While this effect is powerful, it is still highly susceptible to DP reduction effects or even outright deletion effects. Still, it's interesting for potential Digimon coming out of the woodworks. Vemmon is the newest Digimon that can be as many as 50 cards in a deck. By suspending this Digimon, you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You can add one Snatchmon, Destromon, Galacticmon, or Fusionize from among them to your hand, and place one Vemmon from among them to the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. The rest of the cards get bottom decked. In essence, this deck pushes you to have as many Vemmons to reduce the Digivolution cost as you move up into Destromon or Galacticmon. I've only seen a few videos in regard to this deck, and I can say that it has potential, but I will need to playtest this myself to really understand it. Agumon X returns as a black Digimon now that can Digivolve from any Agumon for 0. However, its baseline Digivolution makes it so that you must Digivolve from a black level 2. Because of this, I don't recommend this level 3 in red base variants. Additionally, this is the first Agumon Searcher with an inheritable of protection from bounce to hand or deletion if you return the x-antibody option card from this Digimon's Digivolution sources to the bottom of the deck. And unfortunately, it's also still a reptile, unlike other Agumon variants which are dinosaur in their traits. This is important mainly if you're trying to add more Agumons for an Agumon base for Dorbikmon. On play or when Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of the deck, add one card with Greymon or x-antibody in its name, and one black Tamer from among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom. Moving to level 4s, the first is Garamon. This Digimon is also treated as being named Numamon, which helps fuel your trash with cards like Numamon, Sukamon, Nanimon, or Edamon. On play, you can trash one of those cards I just mentioned to draw 2. This card combos nicely with some multicolored cards, and believe me, there's a lot of them. Snatchmon returns to the Vemmon lineup, and when it's Digivolving, lets you place up to 2 Vemmon from your trash at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. If you have 4 or more in the Digivolution cards, return one Fusionize from your trash to the hand. Its inheritable makes it so that when your Vemmon are returned to the bottom of the deck, unsuspend this Digimon and it gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. The big bad monster of this archetype has some very interesting effects. Tekamon, on the other hand, is where the level 5s start. It's simply a machine Digimon with 7000 DP and reboot. Playability wise, I think it's best utilized in sealed, as there are better options in Machine Dramon and Chaos Dramon decks. Which, Gigadramon is the best level 5 to go into any Machine Dramon or Chaos Dramon deck. First up, while its stats are lower than a typical level 5 these days, it does have jamming and generic inheritable reboot. This means that in a combo with EX1 Guardramon, you can trash a cyborg or machine, draw 2, then evo into Machine Dramon or even Chaos Dramon to reboot, and get some potential other goodies underneath it. I highly recommend this specific card. As for Mamemon, on play or when Digivolving, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Play one Tamer among them with a play cost of 4 or less, then place the remaining at the bottom. Its inheritable, on the other hand, makes it so that whenever you play another Digimon by an effect, one of your Digimon gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. I have a theory build at the moment that I saw from a Japan list that might make this Digimon viable again. Finally, out of the level 5s is Destromon, another Digimon from the Galacticmon line. Digivolve from 6 from Vemmon, which can be reduced if you have multiple Vemmons underneath already, With Venmon's own effect, in a Fusionize, this can potentially reduce the Warp Digivolve cost by 2 and make it 4. When Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards and place one Venmon from among them at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Then trash the remaining ones. If you have 5 or more Venmon in the Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Tamers. Inheritable wise, on your opponent's turn, once per turn, you can return 2 Venmon from the bottom of this Digimon to force your opponent to switch the attack target to this Digimon when they attack. Sly, Bandai, introducing more of these effects to this set. Personally, I think Venmon is an interesting concept, but the big boss monster of this archetype is where I'll dive into more discussion. As for level 6s, there's Machinedramon and Justamon XL Arm. Machinedramon returns as another dual Digivolve option from Red or Black. When Digivolving, you can reveal the top 5 cards, add one Analog Man from among them, and place one Cyborg or Machine Digimon under this Digimon before trashing the rest. While I like the slotting effect, I have some issues with Analog Man. On deletion, by returning one of your Analog Man to the bottom of your deck, play one other Machinedramon from hand without paying its memory cost. So other than Analog Man being an issue, I also feel bad if someone has a card like Pomumon or Pillowmon out on deletion, because that counters the effect to play Digimon. However, slotting an extra level 5 is the best effect of this Digimon, but I personally think EX1 and Chaosdramon are superior. I'm still tinkering with different Machinedramon variants, and unless I find something crazy like I did with Reboot Blocker Death Xmon, I wouldn't expect this particular level 6 to go into decks. Justamon XL Arm, on the other hand, is the last Justamon made available for the time being. When Digivolving by returning one non-Justamon XL Arm level 6 to its owner's hand, this Digimon gains Security Attack +1 and Piercing. Which means after you do this, you can use the when attacking effect, assuming you have a Tamer in play to Digivolve into that Justamon you just returned to hand. Whether you'd like to use a slew of Blitz Arms effects, or even Critical Arms potential deletion, and do it again. Honestly, I feel Justamon is still missing something to make it truly viable. But for the sake of length of this video, I won't go too much into that because that's another long topic of discussion. Tamer-wise, Analog Man is the first new Tamer. Coming in at 4 memory to play, this Tamer lets you at the start of your turn, trash a level 5 Cyborg Digimon to gain 1 memory and draw 1 card. Additionally, you also get to switch the attack target to your level 6 Digimon with Machine and their traits when they attack. At 4 memory, there are a few things I like about this card, but at the same time, 4 memory feels expensive for this particular effect. After all, with a mix of Cyborg Digimon that have potentially different colors, Izzy doesn't do you as much work. On top of that, if you don't have a level 5 Cyborg, this means you don't even get the memory gain or draw by trashing. So you contend with potentially a deck with a high number of level 5s that are Cyborg trait, and have an average on-play cost of 7? That just feels like a brick to me. Yuya Kuga, on the other hand, is where Bandai really did players dirty. Well, not all players. Greymon players got spoiled. This Tamer is not only a memory fixer, but when you Digivolve into a Greymon Digimon, you can suspend this Tamer to give it plus 2000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. But wait! There's more! If that Digivolution into Greymon was the same level, that Digimon is unaffected by option cards. So you now have built-in option card protection against the Digimon specifically. While it doesn't nullify cards like Hammerspark, cards like Chaos Degrade Hidden Security that would normally target your Greymon Digimon now whiff. Option card wise, Fusionize is a 1-cost memory option card that can be reduced if you specifically have Snatchmon out. Main, you can play one Venmon or Destramon from trash at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Then you may Digivolve in a Destramon or Galactamon in your trash by paying its memory cost. Security, you get to reveal the top 3, and play one Venmon among them and trash the rest. Venmon makes me think of a cross between D-Brigade and D-Reaper, mainly because you have reduction costs, along with the manipulation of the trash and playing out bodies for as cheap as possible. Again, I don't think it'll be top tier meta, but I do think it could be a fun deck. Cootie's Kick, again, if you have a Black Tamer in play, you can reduce the play cost of this card by 1, effectively making it 1 cost. Main, one of your Digimon with Numemon, Sukamon, Nanimon, or Edamon and its name is unblockable and gains, on deletion, gain 3 memory until the end of your opponent's turn. One problem. This doesn't stop redirects, meaning effectively you can use this card to sacrifice a body to potentially gain 2 memory. In security, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, play 1 black Digimon card with a play cost of 3 or less, and then trash the rest. I don't think it's necessary for a Sukumon deck. DG Dimension, a throwback to Digimon World 1, is reduced by 1 if you have a black tamer in play. Main, de-digivolve 1 on 3 of your opponent's Digimon, then delete 3 Digimon with a play cost of 6 or less. This card is most effective against decks that have multiple level 5s in play, since your average level 4 has a play cost of 5. But in terms of removal, there's still better options, but it's a neat throwback art nonetheless. And finally, the other secret of the set, Galacticmon. This big 14,000 DP body, which yes it is the biggest level 6 currently in the Digimon trading card game, can digivolve from a Snatchmon for a memory cost of 9. When digivolving, you may place up to 4 Venmon from your trash to the bottom of this Digimon. Then if you have 8 or more, delete 1 of your opponent's Digimon. Alright, this is starting to feel more like Eosmon now too. All turns when this Digimon would leave play, you may prevent it from yeeting by returning 4 Venmon from the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution sources to the bottom of the deck. This card has some built-in protection too, for potentially 2 yeets. But the last effect, start of your main phase, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Looking over Digimon meta lists, I didn't see too much in regard to Venmon taking first place, if not consistently. Because of this, I don't know effectively how well the deck will be until again, I play it. But in general, what are your favorites of the black cards? Widely the support goes to Black or Greymon X, and a new archetype in the form of Venmon. Diaboromon may gain some uses with the new Mamemon. With that, there are only 2 more videos to go over for this set. Purple and white multicolor cards. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.